Hello. Welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 227. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. This is a tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
Third take. Maybe fourth take.
Oh, whatever. We were going to do the comparing different countries, but I didn't want to do a half-ass result. So we're going to wait on that for a little bit just because it is a lot of information and sources and stuff to sort through.
A lot of shit, and we're trying to figure out what you guys would even give a shit about knowing.
I'm trying to do right now I have average salaries, percentage that own homes, a little bit about healthcare stuff, and parental leave are the main things I have right now. But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. So instead, what are we going to talk about, Shaun?
We are going to talk about long-term thinking and the importance behind it.
I love it.
Okay.
We kind of thought of this because I'm reading Dopamine Detox by, I don't know who. He has a detox series, and then he also has a mastery skills series. And most of his books you can get on Kindle Unlimited, which is really awesome. And they're all really short. I think they're 60 to 100 pages. So in there, as I was reading along, he talks about how property of, or a factor, how would you describe that? Characteristic, thank you, of a successful person is being able to think long term. And because of that, if you're able to think long term, you're more likely to make good decisions and habits now. So one of the things I think about is on both of our visions, we have that we want to be in great physical shape, and we're going to work out X amount of times a week. We're going to do X, Y, and Z for physical activities. And thinking about that, it does kind of affect how much I train now, what I eat now for the most part. We are more health conscious because we know long term we still want to be in the same shape.
So what he said in his thing was, if you're forward thinking, you make better choices. So if you think about long term, you're more likely to make better decisions in the now. And so what you're saying, on our vision, by us saying that we're going to be healthy and do this shit, then we are more likely today to do that. And dude, this is so prevalent with everything, right? But the number one health, we are reminded every single day when we go out in the world of what we could look like if we fuck off. And this weekend we saw some friends of ours, Jeff and Brian, and I'm like, you know what? If I look like these guys in my 40s and 50s, I'd be all right with that.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I would be all right with that.
There's some good-looking dudes.
Dude. And the thing is, Brian's been training 20-some years. Jeff's been training 30-something years. They take care of themselves. And they don't just train, they eat well.
Yeah.
They take care of their bodies. They their first option isn't Western medicine. It's how do I fix this issue without having to take take time off, without anything like that. And we were talking, Brian blew out his bicep.
Yeah.
Blew out his bicep. Full tear in a competition. He goes to his chiropractor and he goes, is there anything we can do about this? And the chiropractor just laughs at him and goes, yeah, surgery. And he's like, damn. But it makes sense, because when I tore my pec, I went to my chiropractor. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, at the time, Dr. Flood, I kind of tore this pec. What should I do? But talk me through it a little bit. Same shit when I did a partial tear on my hamstring. I called Mason. I said, Mason, I did a partial tear on my hamstring. What should I do? And got everything set up for what I could do. And, in a situation like that, it took me out of the game of going full effort, but it didn't take me out, period.
Right.
I was still able to walk around. I was still able to work when I did my pec. I was still able to do everything. I just had to do it lighter and more cautiously,
Yeah.
right? And
Even, sorry, do you have more?
no, go for it.
Even with your back, like, it's been really interesting because Shaun just has to do these exercises like 3 times a week, and
technically I'm supposed to do it every day, twice a day. Sorry, doctors, if you're ever listening to this. I only do it 3 times a week.
But still. So, Shaun has had back problems for, so you said since high school?
Since I was in the 7th grade.
Yeah. And so, how long is your total thing? Did they say it would take?
To like be done?
Yeah.
All right, here's the deal. I have been putting off this back thing forever.
Yeah.
Because I did not look at the future. Like, I wasn't looking long term with my back. I would just do shit to like make it through with my back. I would like foam roll. I would hit the lacrosse ball, get a massage every now and again, and get chiro adjustments, right? Finally, after pulling it for like the fucking 2nd or 3rd month in a row, I was like, I'm so fucking sick of this. And so AJ's like, hey, try out these guys. Stookie Chiropractic. I'm like, okay. So I go there, do the thing. It's all fucked up. And they're like, if you do these exercises, and theirs is twice a day, every day for whatever. They said, if I do them that 18 months to 24 months, I'll be like brand new.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay. And I just thought about it. I'm like, well, I've been dealing with this for 16 years. I've been dealing with this for 16 years. And I'm like, okay, what is 2 years really? And I thought, I was like, I knew right away, like when I went there and met him and we're doing this and we're going over the exercise and all that shit. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm not actually doing this twice a day every day. But I was like, if I do it 3 times a week and get my adjustments and shit, I was like, even 3 years. Like, what's 3 years of the last 16 years I spent for it to be good? And they show like the trajectory plan. I start out by getting adjusted 2 times a week. That goes for like 6 months to 9 months. Then I drop down to once a week. And then once I like reach the end of my thing and I'm good and my shit's like in the numbers it's supposed to be in, then I can drop down to like an adjustment every other week, an adjustment every 3 weeks for like maintenance. I'm like, okay, that's like where I want to get. And if that takes 2 to 3 years, I just spent 16 years with this shit. I had that. So anyways, here's just like a little synopsis of how it's going so far. I started this in May or June. May.
Oh,
I started at the end of May. I started this at the end, middle of May, something like that. And it's September now. Since then, I have not pulled my upper middle back once. And I just came off a streak of doing it 3 times when I finally went in there.
Yeah.
Not pulled it once. I also started getting massages on it too, because I'm like, if I'm doing chiro, I'm getting massages. I'm like going all in on fixing this back. And my middle back's never felt so good in my fucking life. I'm not pulling it anymore. So my stress, the normal stress, you're supposed to, the scale's 100. So if you're at 100, you're perfect with stress. Mine was the highest score the clinic's ever seen at 624. And after 3 months, May, June, is that right? 3 months? Last month. 3 months. After 3 months, I was down to like 328. Then we tested again this past week, and I was at 204. And so, I've came down significantly. And I know through like training, dieting, all that shit, I know the big portion is able to trim off fast.
Yeah.
So I know like we knocked that shit out fast. We're good. We took away the big bulk of my issues right away, 4 months.
Yeah.
Back's not being pulled, anything like that anymore.
You haven't really had back pain with long car rides lately either, have you?
No, it's been a lot better, and that's because not only am I getting my upper middle, like my exercises help me for my upper middle, they're adjusting my hip twice a week. I get my hip adjusted. And even like one of the doctors that I've only seen him twice, but I saw him in my first month there, and then I see him now 4 months later, and he's like, dude, your fucking hip difference in these 3 months you've been getting adjusted and like doing the exercise, like so much better. And I was like, oh, that's why I don't have as much pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, lower back shit's like pretty much gone. But now I just have, I mean, I've got a couple things. Like I've got some muscle imbalance shit I'm working on, and I've been golfing a lot more. So I've got like really tight portions of like my lower back that I've never dealt with before. That's a little weird. But that's just from golfing more, and I'm used to golfing and shit. So we'll get that all squared away and figured out.
I noticed my lower back it gets tighter if I don't do back raises.
They get tighter if you don't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't do them at least once a week.
Yeah, I used to have back issues bad and shit when I would sit at a desk. And for that time that I was sitting at the desk and stuff, I wasn't doing back raises and hypers and hamstring curls and stuff. I was just doing like bar shit.
Yeah.
And my back went to shit.
Very fast.
Anyways, so back on the thing, I decided that I had enough of this fucking just fixing shit short term. Mm-hmm. Looked long term at it. And been doing the shit they tell me to do. Obviously not as frequently, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it where I know I can be consistent with it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to act like I'm going to do something more. I just know where I'll be consistent, and I'm doing that. And we're seeing great progress.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to slow down. It always tapers down. After the big changes, it always tapers down. You plateau, whatever. But I'm going to just keep on this fucking train for 2 more years, 3 more years, and just get it done. It's going to... If I've made this much progress, this will fix it. Yeah. I just need to stay in the train and it'll be fixed, and then I'll be fucking...
It was very interesting talking to Jeff and Brian, because, like, they're also, like, so in the same, like, headspace as us of, like, going to chiropractors before going to, like, surgeons. Just because, like, since all of you do have, like, so much muscle mass, you all know how quickly that goes.
Yeah, you don't ever want to... If you don't have to be out... You don't want to be out. Like, if you don't want to be out of lifting, that shit.
And it's really nice because, like, Shaun's able to do everything as normal.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the whole point of this is because, like, Shaun's thinking long term. So, like, he knew, right, he didn't want to get, like, back surgery or something down the road. Mm-hmm. So, finally, that's why he was like, okay, let's, like, go into the chiropractor, see what I can do. Now, before it, like, progresses where you have to get surgery, or, like, it would take 5 years of chiropractor to get it fixed. So, like, that is part of, like, thinking long term.
Yep. So this thinking long term relates to everything, right? But the big three, what Bradley talks about all the time. Yep. Health, relationships, money. Thinking long term with that, right? If you're not thinking, we have on our fucking vision, we got our health on our vision. Another thing on that list
is family.
Family every quarter, no matter what, we got to visit family every quarter. Like, go up to Ashland, visit your family. Like, we got to visit family every quarter. And then money, we have like our financial shit on there, as well as like our careers and stuff. By doing those things, we will be better in the short term, because you know how easy it would be to not go see my grandpa. It'd be easy.
Yeah.
It'd be very easy to just never go see him again.
I have been liking you go talk to him and me just chill.
Fine with me. But I have been making that a priority since I was 18. Like, since I was 18, I stopped and see my grandpa. It's just what I do. How I do it. When he passes away, that will switch to me going and seeing my grandma every time.
Yeah.
My grandma just happens to be 63. My grandpa's 84.
Yeah.
So, I know one of them's fucking most likely kicking the bucket before the other. Get my time with him. Then I'll switch over and get my time with grandma. Maybe not the right way to look at it, but I also know my time, and I know I'm not going to spend 3 hours every time I head home just to stop and visit.
Yeah.
So... But anyways, that's kind of what I do. Like, I just think about long term. I've known since I was 18. My grandpa doesn't have long with us. Some fucking how he's still hanging in there after goddamn 10 years later.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, what I do.
That's cool.
Yeah. What do you got for long term? What are you thinking?
Just in general, like, having those long term goals and, like, visions is what's going to keep pushing you to do anything. I know for a fact that I want to have a big library with displays with Legos. Well, how am I going to have a big library? Obviously, we have to have a big house. a bigger house with an extra bedroom where I can fit all these bookshelves.
It doesn't even have to be an extra bedroom. It could just be the library.
Yeah. I'd love to. Wouldn't that be just so cool to have a room called the library? Anyways, so I know, like, right, Shaun and I are going to have to get a more expensive house down the road so we can have our library. Mm-hmm. And so you can work your way backwards of, like, okay, what do I need to do now in order for us to get there? Okay, well, right now we're going to live in this house where we can save money because the mortgage isn't ungodly. And we don't need a whole lot of space, so why get a bigger house right now? Right?
Absolutely.
We got rid of some of our toys, so then we can buy a sports car that Shaun actually likes.
That I will keep long term.
Right. And just like little things like that. Like thinking about what you want down the road and what you can do now to get there. So Shaun wants a Porsche 911. Well, why do we have 2 Corvettes?
Right.
Doesn't make sense. So that's why we sold them.
Right.
We know we want to have a family and kids down the road. So motorcycles aren't the safest thing to have. Mm-hmm. Hence why we sold it. Mm-hmm. It's just like little things like that. It really does, by having especially a well laid out vision, you're able to think about every like decision you make every single day should be helping you go towards those goals.
Right. Absolutely. And with that, like a big thing, I talked to Brian about this. Mm-hmm. I enjoy construction. Mm-hmm. I think it's really fun. If I didn't think long term, I would be building houses with Nate. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't have went back to college. Back when I was 21 and I took a semester off and was just working with Nate. Him and I discussed me staying on, being foreman, all that stuff. But at that time, I was thinking about like my goal then, this was before group homes and everything. My goal long term then was to own an accounting business with and flip houses. That was like my long term goal, was like flipping houses and then owning like an accounting firm. Because I really liked accounting. Ended up getting put into group home shit, entrepreneurship route, and I threw out the accounting shit so I could just get out of college and focus on business. Kind of wish I would have stuck around at accounting, but fuck it. That would have just put me in the grind of doing accounting. Yeah. So I would have just worked with a firm and it would have been stupid. Probably, most likely. Maybe not. Probably not, because I thought long term, like when I was working construction, I wasn't thinking about just like being a foreman and doing that and like being great at that. I was like working construction thinking like, oh, this is a stepping stone to flipping houses. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And which now I'm doing. And like when I started the group homes, I very much thought like, this is like the start of my entrepreneur journey. Like this is going to be my kickoff to like getting income, learning business, all that stuff, which did. So I guess the skill set, the characteristic of thinking long term has allowed me to do these things. Otherwise, like if I just did what I enjoy doing, I would just be building houses. Yeah. Because I think it's fun. Yeah. Like I just really enjoy doing that work and I like construction, stuff like that. But because I think long term, I don't do things out of enjoyment. I do things out of like best version of myself. Mm-hmm. And like progress.
And what's worth your time too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah. That's yeah. Mm-hmm. Because when I look at it, I can make X amount by myself. Or I can give 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever people a job, and I can make X amount off of each one of them. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, what's more beneficial to society? If I'm able to think long term, and the 5 guys working with me don't have that skill set to the level I do, then I get to supply them, with jobs or like with careers. And they don't have to do stuff they're not good at. Where like otherwise I would almost be selfishly just going through life.
Yeah.
Not doing what I can do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's a different way to think, and you kind of have to train yourself to think about that. Shaun, I think, has just been naturally thinking about that forever.
I've thought about the future my whole life.
Yeah. I've thought about, like, big goals and dreams of, like, having a library and stuff like that. But I've never, not until, like, the past couple of years have I, like, when I make a decision, I'm just like, okay, how is this going to affect me in the future? So, yeah, it's just a neat way, like, it's kind of like an exercise almost that you have to do every day.
You got to practice that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. And then once you do it long enough, like, some things are going to be, like, habits or just ideals that, like, you just know. Yeah. Like, okay, I know this is going to get me there. I know this is going to do this. We talked about recently, like, about being on our phones and distractions and dopamine and stuff like that. And I'm now unsubscribing from, like, all websites off of my email because I might have spent more money than I should have on some
Sam
stuff.
likes buying shit.
So now, like, because I know we need to save our money for my future library, so I started unsubscribing from these emails because there's no point for me to spend this money right now. It's just not worth it. And a lot of it's just, frivolous stuff. So,
yep.
And down the road, I can just probably buy it off of eBay from someone for the same price or more or less, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so with that, like you're talking finance-wise. Oh, sorry. Finance-wise, with like thinking long-term, retirement.
Yeah. That, I was going to bring up that point and I forgot it.
Dude, if you aren't looking that far forward, oh man, that's tough. Because I would have sold all of our properties by now if I didn't look forward. But you have to look at what the future holds. And part of looking at what the future holds, in the now, it will make you look at the past. So when I'm thinking in the future, I'm like, okay, well, what has the past done that would make me think the future is going to be similar or different? So you look at, what the returns have been in the stock market, look at inflation, look at how much money you used to need to retire and how much money you need now to retire. Then you got to think of like extrapolating that over the next 30 years, because if they've done this much damage in the last 30 years, you can expect that to continue to happen. And so, before, when they said, you need, what is it? I think you need 12 to 15 times your salary. No, I think it's 15 times. You need 15 times your yearly salary in your savings account by the time you hit 65. So you make $100,000 a year, you need 1.5 mil. Man, I think it's more than that, but whatever. It certainly is more than that now.
Yeah.
And so by looking into the future, you can start making better decisions now on how to set yourself up for that.
Yeah. Then
you can even do shit and start setting yourself up so that you don't have to retire at 65. You can retire at 55. You can retire at 45, And it's that skill. Dude, look at the people that are 65. The ones that don't take care of themselves, they don't got a lot of life left.
Right.
The ones that do take care of themselves, they got 20 years left. But it ain't the best 20 years. So do you really want to put off all your shit, your hunting trips, your vacations, your enjoyment in life for when you retire? Or do you want to look towards the future, think how you can fucking maybe bust ass and set yourself up for 10 years, 15 years to then start like doing those draws. Start doing those draws, taking those vacations, doing those things. And then figuring out maybe it's not even retiring. Maybe you're just trying to figure out how you're not having to pinch pennies and work 40, 50 hours a week until you're 65. Maybe you're trying to figure out how you can work 25 hours a week from 40 on and be able to enjoy your life, right? Yeah. But by us looking at that right now, we can for sure make that happen.
Yeah.
By decisions we make today, we could easily do that if we wanted to.
Yeah. Well, and it was interesting because one of the guys that we were talking to in Ashland, he's 42? 44. And he has almost 50 units.
Yep.
And he said, more than half of them are fully paid off?
Yeah, because the craziest thing, if he started a little bit younger than me, and you get 20-year mortgages on most of your commercial stuff, well, if he's held them for 20 years...
Yeah, they're going to be paid off.
A lot of them are paid off or close to being paid off. And I'm like, holy shit, good point. The stuff we got. We got 15 properties or something. Those 15 properties, in 25 years, they're all paid off.
Yeah.
You know? And if we look at what our income would be... literally in 25 years, we don't have to work. We would not have to work, and we don't have to get any more properties. We don't have to do anything else. With what we have right now, we could just retire at 52 years old.
Yeah.
That's it. Done. Over. But I've been thinking. I've been manifesting this shit since I was fucking 18 years old.
Yeah.
Most people ain't doing it even today. They're not spending any time doing it. I'm spending hours. I'm spending 10 plus hours a week.
Yeah, you are.
Easy.
Yeah, you are.
Easy. And am I crushing everyone? Absolutely not. There's so many people just destroying my ass. Way bigger, way better, way smarter, etc. But I also kind of think about what I like and by following my vision, maybe it's not the right way to do it, but I kind of like the small business thing more than the big corporation than building like corporate big stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's going to change as I age. It probably will as I age. But I don't know, because I listen to guys that do that and scale big, and I'm just like, man, that doesn't even
sound appealing.
Not really. I don't know. It's just not something I'm very intrigued in doing. I like the aspect of we've talked about so many times on here, small businesses really providing that experience and shit.
Yeah. Camaraderie.
Yeah.
And, the environment. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you can get it at scale. I guess I just don't know how. It's just not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's something to it. That hasn't entered my brain yet. I'll keep thinking on that to figure out how to make that work. Sorry for just going on my brain. I just go on my brain. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry how it goes. It's just what it is.
But so, yeah, thinking long term is going to help you stay motivated to keep pursuing what you want to pursue. And, making better choices today.
When we're talking to this, that's what you just said is perfect. It doesn't keep you motivated. It keeps you disciplined. When we were at the event, Rob's event with Kyle, you, Kyle in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we were talking to George Bryant, and Kyle's like, I guess, how do you just stay motivated every day? And they all kind of chuckled. They all kind of chuckled. They're like, you don't?
Yeah, they're just like, what do you mean by motivation?
Yeah, because, that's what George was breaking down. He's like, we can break down motivation in a bunch of different ways, depending on, how you describe motivation. But he was like, what most people think of motivation is discipline. How do you stay
disciplined?
Yeah, because he's like, you are not going to be happy to wake up every day. You're not going to be excited.
One of Andy Graham's the other day, the motivation is the title of it. If you guys have not, you should go onto Andy's website. I think it's just andyfrisella.com and sign up for Andy Grams. They're like little tiny blog posts that are kind of like motivational, inspirational. I think I've just gone for 2 weeks.
Here we go. Motivation is temporary. Anytime we set out to do something new or are presented with a new opportunity, whether it's a lifestyle change, new career path, relationship, or anything else, it's exciting. In the beginning, this excitement makes it easy to stay disciplined and operate with urgency. But what do most people do when that initial excitement and motivation starts to fall off? They compromise. They lose urgency. They let their foot off the gas. They slip on the details. They check out. Then they decide it's not working out and move on to the next new and exciting thing. This is why most people lose. In order to avoid this trap, you must maintain a high level of urgency and execution far past the point that your daily tasks become boring and monotonous for you. This is something all winners understand very well. I call it mastering the mundane. If you want to win long term, you need to develop this skill. Excitement and motivation are temporary, and once they're gone, discipline is the only thing that remains. If you can't execute at a high level, even when you're bored or frustrated or tired, you can't win. It's that simple. Andy Grams. Go to andyforsell.com, sign up for his email list, and he sends you emails every single day like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that. Like, that really goes to show if you think long term, it helps you stay disciplined, not motivated.
Dude, Andy talks about that all the time on his podcast. He's got a mission. He's got a vision. He could sell out, sell for billions, chill out, fucking hang on a yacht, do whatever he wants. But he's like, no, fuck all that. I got a mission, and I'm here every single day. Mm-hmm. And there's something to say about that.
Yeah, there
right?
Really is.
He's thinking very long term. Otherwise, he'd have copped out, and he would have fucking, whatever. Dude, this is actually like me selling the group homes. Mm-hmm. I knew long term, Ryan and I didn't want to go to the same place.
Yeah.
So instead of just hanging on, riding it out for as long as I can and just trying to like milk my portion and like fucking ruin a relationship and shit, I like looked long term and I was like, bro, we ain't going to the same fucking destination. Mm-hmm. One of us got to buy each other out.
Yeah.
It's just
how it has to be.
Right. Otherwise, what are we going to do? Prolong it a few years, start making the business shitty, relationship shit, or just fucking,
mm-hmm.
long-term shit.
Yeah, it's such an important thing to do. I know on here we've talked about vision before.
Okay, sorry.
You could just go ahead and Google like how to write a vision, and you'll find tons of resources. But I think everyone should do it. Doesn't matter if you own your own business. Doesn't matter if you are stuck in your career path. I think it really helps like open your mind to new possibilities or just like who you are as a person, kind of.
Yeah, and I kind of start to not like always talking about vision,
It always comes back to vision.
I know, but people get rubbed wrong when you talk about vision and shit sometimes. Just think about why the fuck you're on this earth. Mm-hmm. That's simple. Like, forget the fancy word of vision. What is your purpose? Like, what the fuck are you doing on this earth? Mm-hmm. Are you even like worth anything to society? Mm-hmm. Or are you just drawing along useless as shit? And maybe that's your purpose, is to like be motivation to everyone else around you to not be like you.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like,
Shaun's like saying like homeless people, by the way. If you were like an accountant and you just like love the firm you're working for, you don't want to move up, like we always need those type of people.
Yes, thank you. That's absolutely not what I'm talking about. That's a career, enjoy your shit. I'm talking about the motherfuckers mooching off the system, not doing shit, fucking stinking up my goddamn streets.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Dude, every society needs the worker bee. Mm-hmm. Needs the people that do the career that, the accountants of the world, the blue collars of the world, everything like that. Mm-hmm. You need that.
But that's doing your vision,
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, by doing your vision, you can like figure out like what you want, like, your hobbies to be, or, like, if your favorite thing is to, like, read, and, like, what your goals are with reading, or, like, whatever.
I'll even go, like, another, like, layer onto that. How you show up for your family.
Yeah.
And so, I guess, yeah, the thing with the vision is it takes every aspect of your life and you put it on a piece of paper and you can look at that and that's where you're heading. That's your long-term thing. If you're not able, even if you are able to think long-term, but like, how do you show up for your family? Mm-hmm. How do you show up for your friends? You know, like, and by doing that, it makes you think about spending too much time on your phone. Like, we do that shit all the time. Like, we'll be fucking in the kitchen on our phones and we'll be like, we only get 5 more years with Mimi. Throw our phones, go for a W. Mm-hmm. But it's because we've done that. We've thought about that. We know that. It's muscle memory now. Like, we're on these things for too long. We're like, fuck this, dude. We've got life. We got to show up for, like, our shit.
Yeah, for our dog, for our family.
Right. So.
Yeah. We've made life choices because of Mimi. Like, we got this house
100%.
so Mimi could have a big yard.
100%.
Because we're like, she only has minimum 6 years left. Let's make sure she enjoys it.
Mm-hmm. So we got a big yard. Mm-hmm. That's simple.
Yeah.
So it's like those doing things, like, that was a big thing that we wanted to, like, if we have an animal, we want that animal to be family and we want to treat it really well. We're not just going to have an animal to have an animal.
Yeah.
So, like, we made sure to, like, look for land. We got an acre in town. So we made sure to look for land. We were saving money. Mm-hmm. We're looking for an opportunity to be able to do that. And it took us 5 years. It took us 4 years. What did it take? 4 years?
4 years.
4 years. It took us 4 years to make that happen.
Yeah.
But that was, like, on the forefront. We're like, this is something we want to happen.
And, like, we made sure, like, the yard's fenced in, and then we have a sliding patio door. So, like, during the summertime, we can just open it, and Mimi can just go in and out all day long. With our office that we got, we're going to do the exact same thing.
Yep. It's going to be quite a bit smaller yard. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to do the same thing. Patio door in the back, fenced in.
But we've kind of, like, even, like, not changed our careers a little bit, but I've kind of designed our careers so, like, Mimi can come along.
Right.
So, like, when I worked at the group homes, like, Mimi came with me to work at the group home, and once I switched to the office, Mimi came with me every single day. Shaun worked at a machine shop. Mimi went with him every single day to work. Right now is probably the longest stint she's gone of staying at home. She normally just sleeps all day anyway, so it's not like it's that big of a deal.
Big old bum.
Yeah, she is. But yeah, our next step is, like, we got an office building, so we're going to fence in the yard, put in probably a sliding patio door again, or some kind of door with a screen, and then Mimi can go to work with us again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just small shit. It's just things, though, that, like, you have to think about or it'll never happen.
Yeah.
And if I didn't think long term and I didn't do that shit, I would be working construction. I would have never met you. I never went back to school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But because I thought long term, this is the life I have.
Because I didn't think long term is why I met you.
100%. That's not a good example for people.
No, but I mean, like, I had an idea of what I wanted to do after college, so I got my degree in microbiology, and I just assumed I could go work in a lab afterwards. You can't.
No.
Turns out especially a medical lab, you have to go and get a 2-year degree. Phlebotomy, I think it is.
Yep.
So I couldn't go work in any med lab. Because, like, a 4-year degree only gets you so far. So, like, all these labs, like, they wanted, like, work experience or something. And I worked at a regular job to pay for college my entire time. So I couldn't do any internships, really. I did do one research project. So, like, I couldn't get into any position. And then also, if I wanted to work in a lab, like, higher up, I had to go get, like, my master or my doctorate. Well, didn't have good enough grades to go do that.
Right. Yeah.
So if I would have thought more like long term, very early on, I would have switched majors. I wouldn't have gotten that.
The best person I know that thought long term, Eva.
Yeah.
When she decided she wanted to do accounting and finance, she got a job at RCU.
Yep.
And then went from RCU, applied for an internship. I think it was an internship or it was just an accounting position with Nestle. Went and did that. And then took another accounting position. Yeah, she took like another 2 accounting positions, whatever. But like while she got her degree. And then like during the whole time, I think she started when she was at Nestle, started doing taxes for people. And then like worked her way into having her own little firm.
And you also have to think about that if you want to get your CPA.
Right.
Because you have to take like a couple master courses, I believe.
So I think you have to double major. You have to double major. And so, she was thinking long term. So she double major, accounting finance. So she could get her CPA. Spent the time afterwards studying, doing all that. So she could take the test, pass the test, get her CPA. Yeah. Because she was like...
Wanted to be a CPA.
Wanted to have her own firm, shit like that. That's thinking long term.
Yeah.
From like day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's really good.
Yeah, it is. Well, cool. Yeah, I just, just make some long-term goals and don't make them easy ones. Because if you shoot for the moon, you're going to land maybe in between there.
Amongst the stars.
Yeah. Shoot for the stars and
end up at the moon.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Because you want to make sure your goals are bigger and better. Because sadly, you probably won't make it that far.
Right.
But if you make them super big and outrageous, you're going to get a lot further than if you didn't.
Right.
Like if my goal was to just have 2018 4Runner, like that's such an easy obtainable goal. But if my goal is to have a Porsche 911.
No, still not shit.
No.
Do something else.
A Lotus.
No, still literally nothing. Something else.
I don't know. A jet.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So if I want to get a jet and I end up with a Lotus, I'd be pretty fucking happy.
No.
Lotuses are cool.
You can buy them so easy if we go buy one tomorrow. No, it doesn't even count. You aim for a fucking jet, and then you might end up with a sick-ass helicopter.
Okay.
Or a nice airplane.
A little 2-seater?
Nah, dude, like a nice 6-seater airplane. Mm-hmm. You know, you can pick them up for like $600,000. You know?
Yeah.
Or you shoot for a jet and you end up just flying private and chartering everything.
Yeah.
As we found out, chartering's not that expensive.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Like, I don't know what the fuck. I think it's like $2,500 an hour or something. So like.
Did you know there's a lot of people? Sorry, random. There's like a website that people like to travel with their dogs.
Yeah.
And they book like private jets.
Yeah.
And like, so you can buy a couple of seats for you, yourself, and your dog for just sitting in the jet.
Yeah. Well, like people also aren't thinking about it. Like, you know, you charter a jet to Mexico. You know, you got a 4-hour flight. Mm-hmm. Charter a jet to Mexico, 4-hour flight. You got 10 people. It's $1,000 a person there, $1,000 a person back. You fly in first fucking class, dude. People aren't thinking about that, dude.
You don't waste your time going through security either.
No.
Because you have to go through the like private terminal.
Yeah.
So you can show up a half hour before.
Yep. Hop on, drinking champagne, hanging out, drinking food, chilling, whatever. Bring your dog if you want. And $1,000 each way for a person to be like extra first class.
Yeah.
People, just people ain't think like that. That's not, but so yeah, you shoot for the fucking jet and you end up just chartering everything. Oh well.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. That's what I got. Make some goals.
Do some great things.
Do great things. We
Cool.
all need to do great things.
All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.